I'm Melvin from the Villages, America's friendliest hometown in Florida, and I'm here to tell you the true candidate for 2020, Mr. Kanye West. I'm the head of his inner city youth outreach program to get out the vote, yo! And I'm here to tell you what Kanye will do when these other two yahoos get out of the way. When elected, Kanye will put the best and brightest people in his cabinet. The brand new Secretary of the Treasury will obviously be 50 Cent. The man knows money so well, his mama named him after it. And next, of course, we have Mr. Will the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air Smith as the Secretary of Defense, because he already saved us from the alien invasion back in '96, after all. And he's earned our respect. And next is Ice Cube. And Ice Cube will head up our Office of Global Change and keep an eye on all that polar ice caps and glaciers and whatnot. And of course we got Eminem is obviously going to be the new Secretary of Education. I mean, no one knows the hardships of the modern youth like a 48-year-old white millionaire. And then the new Surgeon General will be, of course, the man in the myth and an actual doctor, Dr. Dre. Obviously. And finally, Snoop Dogg will naturally be the head of ATF, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. I mean, like, really? Do we have to explain this one at all? I mean, really? Yeah, I thought not. He also vows to legalize weed all around the world, which we don't know that he realizes he only has authority in the USA, but, I mean, legalizing weed worldwide probably won't hurt our chances for world peace, so we're gonna go with it. So I'm Melvin, head of Kanye's Youth Inner City Outreach. Peace out. Word. Get some soup now.
Welcome to the Crashed While Loading podcast.
Does internet porn know you're cheating on it?
Video games,
Well, excuse me, princess.
movies and TV,
Don't worry, Professor. I was an accident too.
half-assed reviews,
Just as I suspected. Hollow!
and everything else.
Chief, mate, what do you want to do tonight?
Off. We need to go on a quick adventure.
Hello, people of the interwebs. I am Ashen Phoenix, and I want to welcome you to Crashed While Loading, our 14th episode. I did that backwards. I'm supposed to say, welcome to Crashed While Loading. It's our 14th episode, and I'm Ashen Phoenix. And with me today is Jazz.
Hello.
Sib.
Howdy.
And Yunfei. Hey.
Hello. Why am I getting an echo?
I don't know. Why are you getting an echo?
Echo.
Why?
The stream unmuted itself.
Oh, the stream. Oh, isn't that always fun when something that you muted is like, oh, hey, you know what? Nope.
So, okay, important question here.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we not have Cat Jam available on our channel?
Because I don't know how to do some of that stuff. And
Oh,
I'm not sure what
me either.
Cat Jam is. Is that the thing where the cat bobs its head jammingly?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's so adorable.
I
and
think
love
you
it.
have to be good at Twitch to get those.
You have to be good at Twitch.
Yeah, you got to watch better people than
sure.
us. You watch a lot of what we call actual streamers, and then there's us.
Okay, whenever she said cat jam, all I could think was like jam that cats eat. I was like,
I was
The
thinking of
crap?
jam made of cats, but yeah, yours is way less creepy.
what kind of jam do cats like? Catnip jam. Catnip jam.
Fish jam?
Fish jam. Yeah.
Spam jam. Like that little jelly
Spam
that's
jam.
around the can of Spam, or inside the can around the meat. I bet you.
Any
Oh,
pet would
yeah.
like that.
I
Yeah.
bet you. If
Any
you
man would like that, I think. What?
I mean, I
Sorry.
eat it by the spoonful.
Sorry. Sorry.
Or ham jam.
That's even worse. Let's just not. Okay, I'm sorry. Brought up the ham. Actually, Unife, why did you bring up the cat jam?
Sorry. I was trying to use it in chat and it didn't work. And I was like, what?
Yeah,
No cat jams for you.
You don't know how to do things like that yet. Also, I know on some of them you have to get to a certain level, which we are not. We are not.
Oh
at.
yeah, we're not cool yet.
No, I think we're like right below 10-year-olds taking pictures of Minecraft level. We're below that because those actually get views, and then there's us. Yeah. So anyway, Cyberpunk fucked everything up. Good job there.
I saw that. I
Yeah.
saw they delayed it again.
It was only 3 weeks this time, till December 10th. But like throwing a boulder into a room full of, well, we'll just go with the analogy we've been with, cats. They are just scattering everywhere.
Oh God.
It's in it. Well, I mean, come on. CD Projekt Red in Cyberpunk. I mean, that's a boulder. That's a big boy. That's AAA. What, a decade in the works now. So expansions. I just saw Medium, which is a game I was looking forward to, is getting delayed. Basically, a dozen or more games and expansions are all delayed till next year, just because of that power flex of CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk. Nobody wants to go up against that. Nobody.
Do you think COVID has something to do with the delay?
I think it actually does. I think that has a big
Well, I'm sure
thing
that
to
has
do with it.
delayed things.
Yeah. The reason it was delayed this time was because obviously now the next gen systems are going to be out by the time that comes out now, and they were going to be damn close to it too. But apparently the 3-week delay was to make the game run better on the current gen, like the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4 better, because they've got to get it to run on the brick systems like I have, which are both first gen original systems back from shortly after they launched.
You know, it's crazy because you would think with COVID stuff, you wouldn't want anything like that being delayed. Just anything that people can do in their homes, because that's a big selling point. Anything you can do out of your home. I
They're
think it would.
perfectionists.
To get like hardware and stuff or work with hardware, a lot of hardware stuff is on hold.
Yeah.
Because the factories have closed all across the world.
Well, and that's the thing. This isn't even to make it work with like a computer. Apparently, the builds for the computer and the next gen systems are solid. I mean, they're still going to have probably a day one, 50 gigabyte patch, because it's just how things go these days. But it's just the older systems, and it's not like the newer ones that were that half point. They got to make sure it runs on the systems that came out. Was it 6 years ago now? And that's it's such a beefy boy. It's that's at least that's what they said. To the point where it happened so suddenly the day before, developers were like, "Oh no, it's gonna definitely come out. We're hitting our marks." And then, like the next day, they're like, at least they were tongue in cheek about it. Someone on their Twitch account or Twitter account was like, "So low key, would anyone notice if we just deleted this because it's not holding up well?" And it's been like 24 hours later. So at least they knew what they were doing. But man, that I'm super excited. I know a lot of people are, but yeesh. But if it
I'm
makes the game
honestly,
better, fine.
yeah, I was gonna say I'm okay with delays as long as it's for the betterment of the game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's kind of where I have to fall into because I don't. You don't often get a No Man's Sky kind of situation where they it was just a horrible bomb and then they retroactively kind of fixed it. Typically, it ends up like Anthem where it was a horrible bomb, then they try to fix it and it still sucks horribly and no one wants to play it. Or like Marvel's Avengers where it pretty much bombed and now they don't have enough people to do the online multiplayer thing because there's no one playing it anymore already. And it was supposed to be a game of service because they haven't learned games of service are not something people really want if you don't do it right.
Yeah.
That's just me. And other than that, the other one I think I found amusing in news stories was apparently, and this is a good advice for pretty much anything that heats up and is electronic, don't put your PlayStation 5 in a plastic display bubble.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Mm-hmm. So you know how all of you have seen the kiosks at like Best Buy and malls where they have the consoles on display, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Best Buy has a PlayStation 5 on display, and obviously they've done the smart thing. They took the controllers away so people can't. Which sucks because supposedly the PS5's haptic feedback controllers are awesome, and they feel really like when you pull a trigger to pull a bow, it actually resists you, so you can actually feel the tension, which is cool.
Cool.
It's also optional to be turned off if you've got horrible arthritis. But the Sony made display cases put the PS5 under a plastic bubble so you can see it, but you can't touch it. And they forgot to do that little thing like put air vents into it. So
Nice.
there's a couple pictures floating around in Best Buy's kiosks of your PlayStation got too hot, shut down, cool to restart. It's just a black screen with a warning on it. So and this thing, I don't know if anybody. I actually watched the Sony developer, Japanese guy. I forget his name. He's one of the core developers. Take it apart. The fan inside this thing. I mean, it's got to be 5-6 inches in diameter. It's massive. That's inside this thing. You could put it in a box fan in your grandma's old house back in the 80s and be like, "Hey, I'm cool on a nice hot summer day." I can't imagine I was the only one that grew up like that with a box fan in the window living in California, even though it was 85 degrees outside and my grandparents didn't believe in air conditioning, even though the house had it. So,
We didn't have AC up in Maine either. Not back then.
yeah. Oh, hey, thanks, Ericus. My face is apparently crystal clear now due to Ericus's new computer.
Woo.
Yes. Can you see my pores? You could tell it's a good matrix simulation because they stretch. I've been watching Corridor Crew on YouTube, and they always talk about stretching pores is what makes CGI look good. Because I am completely CGI right now. I'm actually just some old fart in a room somewhere, and it does the rest of it. Nose hairs do need trimming. This is actually not a lie. Thanks for pointing that out and embarrassing me in front of all my friends. Yeah, You're not my real dad. So yeah. So don't put if you're buying one of these new consoles, probably you're gonna need some ventilation because apparently PS5's bad boy runs a bit hot, and surprisingly, Xbox One is running pretty good. It's quiet, very very quiet, which I'm glad to hear because the old ones I have right now, when I run a new game like The Last of Us or can't remember the last thing I played on Xbox now. I'm blanking, but whatever it was. They sound like a jet engine turbine. Just all loud noises, and people think someone's taking off from an airport. So, yeah. So we got that. So, moving on from that, from one gaming thing, there's not really much to talk about the consoles because they're about to come out, and nobody here has a pre-order for it. Because they are hard to get, and also $500. So, but also hard to get. I would have sold one of my kids to make sure I had the money.
I thought you were going to say kidney.
Huh? I've already sold those. I'm actually down one of them, and the other one I'm sectioning off. In my liver right now, I have about 2/3 of it left.
lab experiments on monkeys. Anyway, so Yunfei has been
Yes.
watching something that I've actually wanted to try, but I wasn't sure. And depending if I get it or not is solely upon her shoulders now.
Okay.
No pressure.
Yeah, I've been watching Phasmophobia, which I will sometimes call Phasmagoria.
Very easily done.
Yep, I've done that several times, and Ben's been like, "Nope, that's almost a horror movie, not the horror
Okay.
game." Like, okay.
I gotta cut in just real
Yep.
quick.
I know it is.
Okay. Back in the day, there was a amusement park here in Tulsa
Bells.
called Bells.
Yep.
Best thing in the world. Of course, the city decided it wasn't worth it and they demolished it.
It's a parking lot now.
They suck. They suck so bad. Anyway, there was a horror ride at this Bells called Phantasmagoria.
Mm-hmm.
Best ride ever.
Yeah, it was one of those old clanky ones from back in
You'd
the
ride through
50s
it.
and 60s.
I will never forget the first time I rode through it. I rode through the whole thing with my eyes closed because I was so scared.
But
Okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Anyway,
It's a movie. An old movie.
Yes, there's one of those.
Phantasmagoria.
Yeah.
There was a magazine too. Actually,
It's a magazine, yeah. And the great thing, the sad thing about that ride at Bell's is it was, I think at the time they tore it down, it was the oldest surviving roller coaster. It was on a track, wooden track
Yes.
horror.
No.
ride.
What was the roller coaster?
No, I'm talking about Phantasmagoria. It was at the time when they demolished it. It was the oldest track horror house. Not the oldest horror house. I'm sure there's plenty older, but it was the oldest track horror house in the country. And then it was basically it was something that should have been preserved, and they just tore it all down and threw it all out.
Well,
yeah, it sucks.
Oklahoma, yay!
Yeah, they did dumb.
They did do dumb.
So
yeah.
how does it play?
Phasmophobia. So it has coding in it to recognize your voice. And we just discovered actually that it will recognize your voice whether or not you use push to talk. So if you say something, it will recognize it in the game, whether or not your fellow ghost hunters can
hear it
you.
or not. It hears it. Okay.
So yeah, it's you and 3 other people, and you're hunting a ghost. And you get different tools like temperature gauge, an EMF reader, salt, stuff like that, so that you can or a blank book as well that the ghosts can write in.
Well, I'm gonna have to get this just so I could stick Sib in it. Honestly, and stream that. Just that's gonna be hysterical.
That would not be
will
funny.
so play that with you. It looks like so much fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you have to solve this mystery of what kind of ghost it is, and we're hoping that it's still in early access.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that the creator will add more things like solving the mystery of like who the ghost was and what happened to them and why they're haunting the place. But as it is now, you figure out what kind of ghost it is, and then you leave and you report back to the base. And it has been both pants-shittingly scary and incredibly funny.
And because and being in 3D too. I mean, I was listening to the people from IGN, in Resident Evil 7 is something able to be 3D. You know, you can actually watch that in VR or play that in VR. None of them got through it. They said they got through about an hour, maybe 2, and they just had to put it down. They couldn't do a Resident Evil game in VR because it was so. It amps it all up. I can't imagine. And I've seen pictures of this game, and it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. You can play it in VR as well.
Yeah. See, and that's playing that in VR.
But the scary parts are like when it's you and like the world's most garbage flashlight ever. And you're walking
a movie
through,
flashlight.
yeah. Or even worse. It's awful. the first flashlight you get is just trash. You pretty much may as well just go in and feel your way around.
Oh,
But you're
jeez.
walking through this long hallway and you hear creaks and cracks, and you've got your there's an item called the spirit box where you can talk directly to the ghost, and the ghost may or may not talk back to you. And you're asking questions of the ghosts, like, where are you? And the ghost will answer sometimes. And I've heard the ghost be like behind you, and the person whips around and then just dies.
This sounds like a game right up. I go in the living room all the time, and Sib is watching just what you're describing on TV. She just watches other people do this in real life.
Yep.
Like,
it's basically
the ghost boxes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's Ghost Hunters the game,
Oh,
basically.
Ericus, the Luigi board.
The Luigi board.
One of the best scenes in Ericus. I don't know if you watch the Derp Crew with Chilled Chaos and Z Royal Viking, and they used to do a lot of stuff back in the day with like Gary's Mod and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And one of them, it was Z. He puts the Luigi board down, and he says, "Where are you?" And the planchette starts moving, and it spells out BOY, and he's like, BOY, boys room? And then he just screams, because like it didn't even finish spelling where the ghost was. The ghost just appeared and killed him, and it was so and yeah, those are some of the scary and funny parts. And some of the funnier parts too are when once the murder is over and you go back to find your partner. Physics is amazing in this game, and their bodies will be twisted in ways that no body should ever be twisted in, and it's hilarious. But yeah, no, it's been a lot of entertainment for me, actually, is watching people go through, and especially when you get groups together that have really good chemistry and
how many players is up to 4?
I think it's just 4.
4. That's what I thought I'd heard. I thought I'd read that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't looked deep into it, but it's permeated nearly every aspect of gaming in my feed, so I've read up enough of it to be curiously interested.
Yeah, you should watch just at least one episode on YouTube.
Yeah,
and
I have to.
There are some sweaty gamers, but you get that everywhere. But then there's the gamers that they just go in to have fun, and I mean they go in to obviously complete the goal, but they also mess with each other. Like they'll yell the ghost's name, which really ticks off the ghost, and then they'll slam the door and run away.
Yeah. Nice. So.
Oh, you can haunt your friends in the afterlife? I actually didn't know that. That must be something new.
Huh.
Or I've been watching older episodes.
Yeah. No, I might have to check that out and see if
I was telling Ben actually the other day, I thought that you would really like it.
Yeah, it sounds like something I'd enjoyed and have even more fun plugging Sib into and just watching her flail about and destroy everything on my desk. What?
Destroy you.
So let's see here. Jazz, New World beta.
Yeah, I signed up for it. It's coming up. Yeah, sometime in November. I'm not clear exactly when, but they're in beta phase, as I understand it. And so you have to sign up for it, and if you have the game, you'll be allowed to participate in the testing phase.
Okay, so but wait, now was this a game that you bought already by chance? I'm trying to. So you'll be in automatically. Okay, yeah, because that's right. You put money down on it, and then they instantly held it back 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. What? I was just making sure I had my facts straight.
No, you're not.
No, I'm just rubbing in the fact that you are the kiss of death.
I am. I need to stop investing in games because every time I do that, something terrible happens. It's really annoying.
It's like, this is probably going to be the best VR MMO to ever come out. Oh, Jazz comes in. I just put down money. Oh, look, their entire development center was hit by an asteroid from space, and they're all dead, and it's all gone now. Because Jazz
feels
was
like
interested
that.
in it. Yeah.
It really,
Yeah.
really feels like that.
We still love you, Jazz.
No,
Yeah,
thank you.
even if you are the kiss of death. What's a computer dump? I mean, I know what it sounds like.
So, for the past, I don't know, probably about 2 months, I've been having problems with my computer. I even talked to you about it because the game kept crashing on me, and ESO kept crashing on me,
yeah.
and I started getting blue screens on a regular basis.
That's what you
blue
get for
screen of
talking to
death.
Canadians. I'm just putting that out there, Ericus.
And back up a bit. When my mom died, I got her computer, and it wasn't her computer. Somebody gave it to her, so they wanted it back. And they were of the delusional idea that I was going to actually just give them her computer, which, wasn't going to happen.
With no proof or anything like that.
Right.
Sure, why not?
So I just copied the hard drive and then put it on my hard drive in its own little place, and then deleted, wiped the hard drive and reinstalled Windows so that there was nothing that they could get. Then I gave it back to them.
And I'm sure that sounds like it went over great.
My mom had an extremely nasty set of viruses on her system. So when I started plugging through them, I think I activated a couple that, for whatever reason, neither Avast or later Windows, because I realized that it's been going on since my mom died. It's just I thought Avast wasn't doing its job, so I got rid of it. And I've just been using Windows, but I think something was already on my hard drive. Well, then Windows found the virus in my mom's group of files.
Yeah.
And shut it down. And I deleted it and got it off my computer and everything. And I had it go through, and it found a couple of things on my hard drive, and it removed it and said that there was nothing to worry about, but I kept having these blue screens. So I told Jason, I was like, I'm going to start shifting things around. And just in case I have to wipe my hard drive, because I'm not one of those people that, spends weeks, months, or gives it to somebody who charges me $300 to fix the computer. I just nuke the hard drive and start over. It's simple, it's fast, it's over, you're done.
As long as you don't lose your personal information, like family photos and stuff like that, that's easy.
But see, I have two hard drives. I have my SSD, which has Windows and everything on it. And then I have my pictures, my music, all of my documents. Everything is on the other hard drive. My 3 gigabyte hard drive.
But what about the external hard drive?
What?
and what about the what? I'm very.
My husband has an external hard drive, and we do share.
I've got what you do, the SSD. I've got the internal one. I've got an external USB hard drive, and I also have online backup through Carbonite, just in case all of that fails.
Yeah, and we do need to back up my 3 gig hard drive onto an actual external. We just haven't done that yet, and I may end up regretting that. But we keep meaning to do that. But anyway, so I was already dealing with that nonsense. And ESO did their big upgrade. And the game just simply took a dump. It would not work, and I tried everything. It said that the upload corrupted, so I did a repair, and I spent a whole day trying to fix it. And it dawned on me that I was fighting a losing battle, and I just needed to accept that. So I made sure everything was where it needed to be, and then I just wiped my hard drive. So that was the big thing, was getting ESO reinstalled, which took 2.5 days. Which was annoying.
But you've got Iowa's highest speed internet.
I know. And actually, I could have downloaded faster. For whatever reason, Steam was
throttling it.
Throttling it. It was not installing very fast. Which was very irritating. So it took a lot longer than it needed to. But anyway, so now that's all done, and my computer's working great. Somebody was like, but if it put it there, didn't it put it? And it's like, no, it was on my desktop, so it was on the SSD. So it never made it onto my other thing, so I was fine.
That's good, yeah.
So everything's working really well. I've had a couple of blue screens, but it was because of a conflict. And so things have been going really, really well.
You're stressing me out, Jazz.
I know. I about lost it, because I was just like, Oh my god! But you know the weird thing, Windows no longer comes on discs. It's on a little USB thing.
Oh, really?
And wiping my hard drive, removing the partitions, and reinstalling a clean thing of Windows took 35 minutes.
Huh.
Remember when it used to take like 8 hours?
Yeah, it was like it was
forever.
Yeah, you're gonna be doing that in between, just marathoning something on Netflix, waiting.
Right, because there was no point because it was so slow, and just like formatting the hard drive took forever. No, it was a 35-minute process from start to finish.
I've not bought it, and I've since what are we on, Windows 10? But that was back when it first came out, so I don't have all mine's on discs.
And then here's the difference between Windows 7 and Windows 10, because I didn't get Windows 8 because it was horrible. In Windows 7, when I had to reinstall, it did only take me like 2 hours, but then it took me a week to get all of the drivers and everything installed for all the little bits and pieces, because I built my own system. So I was not looking forward to this part. But when I reinstalled Windows, it did it all for me. So when I got my computer, I was like, okay, let's go see how bad it is. And I went and I checked all my drivers, and they were fine. Brand new drivers, all up to date. I'm like, well, thank you, Windows.
Yeah.
That was a remarkably painless process. I'm a little skeptical. So so that's all done.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got Sib over here throwing things.
I wasn't throwing things.
It
goes back to my my bad hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Our daughter, she got a new job, and she started as security out at one of the casinos. Okay, this kid, she is the most accident-prone kid ever, and all I could think was, why would you go into security? Why?
She's not even tough.
And she's not even tough. She's like this, and she's falling down. And that was me blowing on her.
She fell upstairs at school once.
Yeah, more than once. It was more than once. So we're sitting there talking about her job, and work's been going really good, and I haven't had to throw any hams. And I was like, what'd you say? And she said, I haven't had to throw any hands. But first I heard she hadn't had to throw any hams. Okay. One, where did kids come up with they didn't have to throw any hands? That means fighting, okay?
Yeah,
it does, Grandma.
I know, but I always heard throw a punch, okay?
But now it's throw hands. It's throw hands, throw down. Yeah. They basically combined throw down and throwing a punch. They kind of combined the two into throw hands.
Man.
Yeah, you throw it, but the way
okay,
so I'm sitting here thinking, all I can visualize is our daughter backing up away from somebody that's going to attack her, and she somehow manages to find magical hams and starts throwing them at them, and I cannot stop laughing. The whole rest of the day I laughed. Then I tried to tell Ashton about it, and then I just couldn't stop laughing again. Because it is something that our daughter would.
She would totally come across like a spiral cut and just chunk it at somebody if they were like just.
And she would totally do
take
better.
Some honey glazed.
She would do better throwing hams than she would hands.
She would.
Oh, but
even
now
if they were individual slices, like a ninja star, like a.
Yeah, it would be so much better. But yeah, so that was my throwing thing story. But yeah, but now she's safe. She actually got transferred to what do you call it, Ashen? Overwatch. She's like she monitors.
You're not supposed to tell anybody about.
Yeah, they don't know her, but she monitors.
She has to watch the screens. Yeah. So that's what they call it. That's the safe word.
She's safe. That's all that matters to me. She's safe in a little room by herself. That's all that matters to this mama.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But yeah, but my hearing, I think my old age is catching up with me because I just don't hear well.
Between my bear cabbages and throwing hams, she's shot. She's done.
Yeah, I'm done. Either that or I've really got selective hearing these days. Like I don't, if you're not, if it's not something I want to hear, it ain't gonna come through. And
Yeah,
I'm
just
real
tune
bad.
people out.
I'm having a similar problem because I don't hear. Well, I have I can hear dog whistles, but I'm missing bits and pieces of the verbal hearing. So a lot of times what people say to me comes out. Wah, 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 wah. It doesn't sound like English.
Like Charlie Brown's teacher.
It's like Charlie Brown teaches. People will look right at. They'll talk to me, and I'll be like, "What?" Yeah, totally understand. And it's so terrible for me. So anyway, I read lips, and I always have since I was a little girl, and that helps because even if I don't know what they said, I can read their lips and I can tell what they actually said. Well, that's shot in the head because now everyone's
wearing a mask.
And so people just look at me and they nod their head. I nod a lot. I've given up. I have no idea what people are saying to me. None.
Go with read lips, which is sad because me and my mom took a little trip a couple weeks ago, and we were sitting there and this park ranger was explaining how to get to where we needed to go because they had the area was shut down and only if you had a ticket you could get in. And he sits there and goes through this whole explanation, and I heard go around the barricade, and that's where I ended. We went around the barricade. I looked at my mom and I'm like, I don't know where I'm supposed to go after this. She goes, he just explained. I'm like, I didn't pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. And she was like, Chris. I'm like, I don't know what to say. I have a really short attention span right now. It's really sad. And I don't hear. And I'm just, but no, it was like when he started talking, it was like you said, wah, 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 wah. And I was like, nope.
Yeah, if I don't really concentrate, even with TV, it is really hard for me to understand what people say unless I'm reading lips. And this whole COVID thing has ruined that for me. So
how do you think deaf people feel?
Oh, I know. They're having just as much of a problem for the same reasons.
Listen to me over here. I can hear things, but my life is so tough because everybody's wearing masks now.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, deaf. I have a client that's blind, and I have a client that's hard of hearing. And she and I, the deaf girl and I, she's like, we'll just walk around and just be hopeless together because she relied on me sometimes too. Because I know some sign and I can tell her, spell things out for her if I need to. And I'm like, I have no idea what he said either.
He said,
and I get tired of saying, can you say that again? Can you say that again? No, never mind.
Yeah.
Sure. I just can't even say it. I just okay, just go on. Hope I wing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got this.
She did the same thing. We went to one of the spook houses here in Oklahoma. Up at it was a Psychopath, which was very cool. But when we got there, he's like, "Have you ever been here before?" And we're like, "No." All right, well, go ahead and follow to the tree line and take a right. And the light over on the right, the white one, is where you'll want to get in line, and the yellow one is where you want to go when we leave. So I'm like, "All right, thanks," and I'm heading for the tree line. She's like, "Are you supposed to go towards the yellow light?" No, that's where we go when we leave.
Driving. It was a good thing he was driving.
And I just looked at her and said, just stop helping me. Just let me drive and park.
You really don't listen, do you? You really don't. And I'm like, no, I really don't. At least I'm honest.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you the truth. No, I don't.
No, she's
didn't hear anything.
Wah, 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 white light, wah, 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 yellow. Yeah. But it was really cool, too. The Psychopath we went to, it was out. It's all outside, but you do a little bit of walking, and then you get on this 8-person electric cart to go driving through the woods.
So much fun.
So it was so quiet out there with this little electric cart that this guy was driving us on that the ladies behind us kept putting her hand in her pocket, and I could hear the rustle of cloth in this middle of nowhere, and I would think someone was sneaking up on us. It was so quiet, and it was awesome. I mean, they did it. It's out near a place called Bartlesville, which if you're not from Oklahoma, just imagine the windows.
It's closer to Skiatook.
Yeah, Skiatook. But that area, just imagine the old Windows startup screen with the rolling green hills for miles in every direction. There's
okay, and I have to say, on the way there, one of the scariest parts was on the way there. Yeah. There's a single lane old school metal bridge. Okay, when we went over this thing, it went I'm like,
Yeah.
are we gonna fall through?
Well, and it didn't help that when I hit it on the other side, I saw headlights, and of course, I've never been down this way before. I thought it was going to be a 2-lane bridge. I'm almost getting ready to get onto it, and I realize, son of a bitch, is single lane, and this guy's halfway up it, so I got to slam on the brakes, and yep.
That was the scary part. The ride started early before we even got there.
But yeah, it was made out of like all crisscrossing wrought iron, and I mean this thing.
It was creepy.
Yeah, and then coming back across, we got to wait with like 5 cars to go. It
Mhm.
sucked, but it was a lot of fun.
Nightmares about that shit.
Oh, you would have, yeah. Well,
yeah.
There was also a giant dead raccoon right in the middle of it, which was really creepy.
People were trying to swerve around it, and there's nowhere to swerve.
There's nowhere to swerve. No.
Nowhere to swerve.
Like just keep. It's just basically a raccoon toothpaste tube at this point. Just go for it. Just keep rolling it from one end. You're not gonna have to look back. Don't worry about it. It's all right. And the Halloween also, we tried. We did. I shared pictures. Everyone, we do a lot of stuff on Halloween. We tried to do a COVID Halloween. We tried. We didn't have people go to our porch because the porch is always a bottleneck when people are having to get past each other.
I think anybody's porch is a bottleneck.
Porches.
Yeah.
And so we parked our son's big old Bronco right in the middle of our driveway. We wrote chalk in giant, like, child-sized letters of enter here, arrows.
We actually roped off the front porch where you couldn't walk up the front porch walkway.
And nobody went on the front porch, so I will give them that. However, the enter here and exit here was really more of a chalky waste of time because nobody paid attention to it at all. And I'm like, all right, listen, if you guys don't want to, we did legally, I'm off the hook if everyone gets COVID. But you're on your own. But at the same time, full-size candy bars, they're willing to make them. Like,
well, yeah.
Yeah, they were willing to make it. But it was an awesome night. The wind here died, so the 2 fog machines in the yard, it just hung.
Could have been part of the
air.
reason why people couldn't see the
It
chalk
also could have been
too, because it was so foggy that, I mean, you couldn't hardly see anything.
It was fun to come out of the fog and scare the crap out of people. It was a lot of fun. But honestly, we had over 300 kids.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in a mixture of it. She gave some candy bars away to adults that were dressed up. We actually had a group of dudes that were old school Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Smoke, and Lizard.
Nice.
They were in the costume, and this wasn't store-bought shit either. This looked
they were
good.
decked out.
Yeah.
I was like impressed. I was like, they were walking by, and they had what was really funny too is they had this little lady dressed up like a little old grandma. She had rollers in her hair. It was these guys, and then her.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I love it. I really love it. And I was like, you guys, come on over. I said, you guys are getting candy bars. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah. I said, you guys dressed up. You guys are getting candy bars.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think one of the best costumes of the night, other than those guys, which were awesome, was one kid came early on dressed as Colonel Sanders. And he had the beard and the goatee, the white hair, the outfit, and his candy bucket was a chicken bucket from KFC. A clean one, obviously.
That's awesome.
It was I was like, right? I was like, it comes with its own like candy bucket that's part of it. It was so cool. So cool. So yeah, Halloween was awesome. Scared a lot of kids, scared a lot of adults. Got a lot of fist bumps, actually. So yeah, it was good. And we had what was really nice about it. I do it because I love it. I grew up in California, and my Papa Allen, who's my grandpa, obviously, he wouldn't do anything like what I do, but they had a walk-up porch that had a big overhang, and in front of the door was their stairs that went straight up. So he would, several years, he would tape like 50 different lines of fishing string to the roof of that. So as you walked by, you would feel something brush your face, just barely. And he would turn off all the lights inside and put on a black light, and he would paint his face white and put on a white hood. And he would come down that staircase that was pitch black and looked like he was floating down it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. That's where that's the only place I can say I got my love of Halloween and scaring people and kids and stuff and seeing that early on. So that was a lot of fun. But doing what we do and stuff like that, we actually had one lady said to Sib, they were thanking us and saying, you guys did a great job. We really needed this year.
Yeah.
And
a lot of people do, yeah.
I actually had one girl, she was probably 16 or 17 and with her two friends, and I could hear them as they were walking because it was towards the end of the night. And she's like, yeah, I've come here since I was a little girl, and they always give out full-size candy bars. And her friends are like, no, they don't. That's whatever. And I was like, actually, we do. And they came over, and she's like, she told me again, she's like, I've been coming here since I was little. This is always so much fun. Thanks. And, I was like, here, take some. And it was weird to imagine, like, if she's 16, she probably started coming to our house when she was 8 or 10, depending on how old she actually is.
Yeah.
Because we've been doing it here for 8 years now. And it was just awesome. It was and it was also weird to realize kids are growing up. We're that house I remember in Simi Valley that did Christmas every year and was like a huge draw. It was the Simi Valley Christmas house that just did it on their own. It was everyone would come, and that's what we had one lady online in our neighborhood tell us that her son demands every time they come home to drive by the house and see it and refuses to trick or treat it. he won't come the night of and get candy, but he wants to see it during the day every time he comes home.
That's funny.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, so that's a lot of fun. But yeah, Spelunky 2 still going, huh? You and Faye?
Spelunky 2 is still going strong. People are still discovering things.
I can only imagine. Has anyone done like a crazy speed run through it, or it's never ending, doesn't it? Or does this one have an ending? I can't remember.
It does have endings. There is, without spoiling anything, there is
that's fine.
Something that you can do to get sort of an endless run kind of thing going.
Okay.
But yeah, people have speedrun. They've speedrun it already.
Yeah.
Because speedrunners are absolutely bonkers.
Yes, they are. What was the game that I wanted? I needed to watch it. It was a 25-minute run of Hades. It was IGN has a Developers React series where they bring the developers on and watch and have the people that made the game watch somebody speed run through what they've created. And I watched one with the Crash Bandicoot recent re-release, and they're like, "What? Why did we bother making all the rest of this game if he's just gonna skip you?" They're like, how is he doing that? It's crazy to think that, but I would love to see, because I've played Hades. I've died in it multiple times, like I think up to 20 now, and that's the whole point of it. But apparently there's a guy that did it from start to finish in 25 minutes on the first run. Wow. So none of the bonuses and all that stuff that stacks up and all that. So I gotta watch that one because I love seeing how people break those things.
Yeah, I saw that actually with not the original Spelunky, but Spelunky HD and Derek Yu.
Yeah,
and he was fascinated, and he was just like, I can't believe how fast these guys are parsing what's happening on the screen. He's like, they're reacting to things I haven't even seen yet.
Yeah, especially in a game like Spelunky where it's kind of randomized. It's random, but it's the same stuff, but it's in random order. Yeah, I love seeing that stuff. And same thing with Hades. Hades is you never know what kind of playthrough you're gonna get. You never know what boons and special items you'll get. So it's pretty cool. And the what's Give Heart Records?
Yeah, I found them by accident because Ninja Sex Party put out a new album, and Ben and I were listening to it on YouTube because we're freaking poor and couldn't actually buy a copy. And you know how it has, based on what you're watching, on the right, it'll have like suggestions or whatever what to play
the
next.
algorithm.
And there was one that was an Among Us song, or a guy did a song about Among Us. It's not actually in the game. And I was like, oh, okay, that sounds interesting. We'll check it out after this. Let's go down this rabbit hole. I'm so glad I do that sometimes because I discover
you find some interesting stuff.
Yeah, you really do. But I listened to that song and it was so bomb. I must have played it like 5 or 6 times in a row, and Ben and I just fell in love with it. It's so polished and like it's so good.
That's the one by Sean Christmas called "Why Do You Act So Sus?"
Yep.
Yes.
That's that one.
And for those youngsters out there that don't know what sus is, that means you might be suspect as the killer of the little bean space people.
Murder jelly beans.
The murder jelly beans. Pudding.
The other guy, through him, we found Nate Wants to Battle, who does songs for various anime, various video games. And there was one in particular that got us down that rabbit hole. And it was for Doki Doki Literature Club.
I've started that game, but I've not finished it.
You have to.
Yeah. I actually started that probably a year ago now, but...
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, trust me, you have to.
Okay. It's still on there. I've just been like, it's a lot of reading. And usually I play late at night and I don't feel like reading. I just want to shoot things.
Please trust me, it's so worth it. It is so worth it.
Okay. I've heard that, and I know I've not had it spoiled for me. I just know that the ending is super crazy and creepy and weird.
It's awesome.
But yeah. I think the only thing I've heard about it is a little Psycho Mantis. And if you don't know what that reference is,
I will neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah, the
Psycho Mantisness of it.
Yeah, Psycho Mantis back in the what was it? The Metal Gear Solid would read when you got to him. He would read the games and stuff off of your. This is how old it is. The PlayStation 1's save cart. And be like, I see you like playing games like Final Fantasy and stuff like he knew what you were playing. So I have a feeling it's similar to that, but that's always super cool. Okay, sorry, tangent. Listening to, because I think I heard someone else talk about that game. There was a game, I swear, in the early 2000s that wasn't really a game. Like, you would sign up for it and you would pay it, and you had to give, like, your pager number, shows you how old it was, your cell phone, your email address, and it would send you, like, threatening messages and stuff like that, and you had to solve who was sending them to you. But it wasn't on screen. It wasn't like a point and click, something you could do with a controller or a mouse and keypad. It was like just these creepy, eerie, like it would call you at 2:00 in the morning, kind of a thing.
So like an ARG.
Kind of, yeah. Like, but it was the first one I can remember, and I couldn't find what that game was called. I don't know what it was. It didn't do well. For the reason that people were, especially back then in the early days of the internet, with your dial-up modems and your 56 bauds and your AOLs kind of thing. But yeah, okay. I would love. Can you imagine somebody doing a modern game like that now? Like you actually install it on your computer, and while you're doing something else, it just starts screwing with you, or like, I don't know. There's a lot of really cool stuff, I think. Anyway, and yes, Ericus, Yunfei does sound pretty sus.
Oh my god, I would be I would be a terrible imposter because I'm like the worst liar. Like I tried playing Town of Salem with Ben, and I just couldn't. I couldn't play the bad guys. I just couldn't do it. Like I'm such a shitty liar.
Ericus is asking what's an ARNG, and I know obviously you meant the Army National Guard Recruiting Center, clearly. But no, it's
ARG is alternate reality game.
Yeah. I think he added an N in there because he's Canadian.
There is something that you can do, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. But what it does is it will send you tell it, I'm looking for adventure, or I'm looking for love, or I'm looking for a puppy or something. And it will send you, based on what you said, a random set of coordinates that is relatively near.
We know that one. Sib, what is that? Our daughter did that.
Did she?
Yes. And
did she find anything?
It creeped her out.
Did
what
it?
What is that called?
Yeah, I actually we saw it because we watched Nuke's
Randomosity or
Randomosity. That might be it. But we watched Nuke's Top 5 YouTube channel, which if you like scary stuff, he is the best for sorting out the stupid bullshit ones. And Ericus knows. Did you see it?
Did you see it? But, I love that.
But one of the ones they did was it sent these people into a middle of nowhere, and there was a suitcase there, and inside of it was a murdered person.
Yes.
Yes. And the creepy thing when Duke put it together was there was another one where it sent a group of girls in the same town, and there was this crazy woman with a shopping cart, and she just stared at them. Just dead eyes stared at them. And when you zoom in, shopping cart had a suitcase in it. 2 totally separate acts, too, on that. So, yeah.
What is it called?
Yeah,
I'm trying
Random Nautica.
Random Nautica.
Oh, yes.
I just had to look it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Random Nautica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My daughter and her friend didn't really find anything.
Yeah, I thought they creeped themselves out. I think they
creeped themselves out.
Yeah.
But they didn't find anything.
Yeah. But
the creators have come forward and been like, look, this is completely random. Like we don't have anything to do with this. So, if you find a body or whatever, like this is not
we didn't know it was there.
Yeah. But yeah, you can do that.
Jazz has been pretty quiet. Seems very sus.
Oh.
Well, horror's not my thing, so I don't have a lot to say about horror games.
She just shuts down and closes. She's actually at her desk right now with her hands over her eyes, trembling.
Yeah, Dot.
Trembling.
No, she was probably sitting at her desk, and all she was hearing was.
Yeah, there you go. That's a little more accurate. La, la, la.
See, she can only understand me because she can see my lips moving on the screen. Of course, it doesn't work when I talk like I'm in a kung fu movie.
Yeah, that doesn't help. Yeah. Plus, it doesn't help that what I see on the video is not what I'm hearing.
No, no, it is. There's a delay.
Yeah.
And I actually don't have to do that. I just do it because it annoys you.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I have no choice. There's no way to turn that off, really. You can slow the delay on Twitch, but you can't eliminate it, obviously.
Yeah.
So there's that. I think we got on the subject. Oh, is the Ninja Sexy Party thing a thing that we just talked about, or because I don't remember that.
Oh, I mentioned it.
What?
Yeah. They
Okay. I thought you did. I was like, wait a minute. I jumped into it.
Yeah, and also, like, if this ever ends up in Danny Sexbang's ears, hit me up.
I don't know what that was, but that was funny.
I'm pretty sure the chances of that happening are fairly small given the number of downloads we get.
Hubby's totally okay with it. Hit me up.
He's on the list.
He's on the list.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
And for Ben, it's Felicia Day. So
that's a good one.
Free pass.
Yeah. No, I've loved her since think the first thing I mean, we saw her in Buffy in like Angel. She was in that. But I think it was Dr. Horrible's sing-along song thing that really is like, oh, so yeah. Much. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's still awesome to this day. We've actually been watching, what's it called? The Rookie with Nathan Fillion. That's such a great show. It's so clearly his just style of everything in that. Because it really is. It reminds me so much of basically everything he does. It's funny and it makes you feel stuff and it's good. So I like that. And so going back to Jazz here. Jazz.
Yes. What?
You still have COVID in Iowa?
Oh God.
Really?
Weird.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
You shouldn't be, because they don't believe it's a thing.
COVID, well, it's not a thing. I mean, it's COVID-19 is the full thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Real quick. Apparently, because nobody asked for it and he's completely tone deaf, Michael Bay is coming out with a movie based on COVID-21 killing off the majority of the planet.
Oh, nice.
Because that's not tone deaf at all.
Yeah, we don't need to see that, dude.
And I'm not exactly like the most like, oh, be afraid of COVID it's under your bed, it's gonna murder you, it's in the house kind of a thing. I just take the basic precautions. I'm not too worried about it. But at the same time, I'm not gonna make a movie on it right yet. Well, we're still in the middle of it, dude.
Soon.
Dying from it. That's
like,
oh man.
But yeah, it was COVID. I think I forget what it was called. Michael Bay COVID. Wow, that was like the first.
Well, we're not done with the COVID, so I mean, it's never going to be a good time to make that
I'm
movie.
sorry, I misspoke. It's called COVID 23 movie.
Oh,
so yeah, and of course the first article: Michael Bay's pandemic movie. Is it too soon? The answer is yes. Yes, it is. It's a little too soon, even by my standards of making fun of things. So, and I can't imagine that he's being criticized for exploiting the pandemic. I don't even see that, honestly. The movie's called Songbird, apparently. So we have that.
No, COVID's on the rise in Iowa.
Yeah, and Oklahoma.
Everywhere, yeah.
And our hospitals just sent out the SOS.
Right. Sorry, Eric is his response. Hollywood is still making movies? Good point, buddy. Good point.
The local Iowa City is our big hospital in Iowa. We don't have a lot of them, so
just hurry up and get with the downer portion of the show.
Anyway, they just leased a whole area so that they can have the beds that they're going to need. So I thought that was kind of nice that they just went ahead and did it, and they were being criticized by the governor personally. Yeah. Was called out about it because the governor was like, "You're just trying to get attention."
I think ours died of COVID.
Huh? No, he's still fine. No.
The governor of Tulsa?
Yeah, he recovered. He's fine.
Mayor of Tulsa, dear.
Sorry,
there was a police officer that died of it.
Oh, maybe that's who
yeah.
He was the head of the.
He was the head of the Fraternal Order of Police.
Yeah.
He'd been on there since 2004, 2005, so 15, 16 years on the force, and yeah, it
so in our stores locally, food's starting to disappear. All the paper towels and toilet paper is gone again. I got one of the last big containers of paper towels, and I wasn't going to buy paper towels, but I saw they were all disappearing, and I was like,
Yeah.
We better do that because it won't be here next week.
Yeah, around here, everything's still just chucking along.
The only thing that is bad around here are canned items, green chilies. Yeah. Who buys all the green chilies? Okay? Who needs that many?
This is clearly the issue of our time. Who? I demand to know if you out there is buying all the green chilies.
Okay. Our son likes chicken chili, white chicken chili, okay? I always
gotta be
put
white.
because it's white chicken. I don't know.
Racist.
I don't.
Racist
Anyway,
chicken.
that's what I think about you. Anyway, so I go and I always get a can of green chilies to put in there. Well, I went to get the green chilies. There was no green chilies. None. I'm like, are you kidding me?
You know, you could just go buy the green jalapenos and cut them up yourself.
Oh, they would whine because they're too hot. I actually can my own pickled or candied jalapenos.
She does do that. She looks like a
send
crazy person leaving the grocery store with 3 pounds of jalapenos.
Hey, I fit as many in that little plastic bag as I can get, okay?
It's like a garbage sack. She's leaving it. She's got it under both arms. She's like, I got it.
But I do candied jalapenos. I actually sent some to our very own.
My husband would love those for Christmas, by the way.
Go.
Just so you know, that is like his thing. He loves anything spicy. His dad makes him some jelly that's made from peppers of some kind. So.
Oh, I love them. I eat them on everything. The one thing I can actually eat and it doesn't make me sick, and they're not super spicy, but they are spicy. But I love them.
It is ironic.
I found
so many things
a great recipe, and so I eat candied jalapenos on just about everything. But no, I'll have to send you guys some.
Yeah, he'll love that.
Yep. Yeah, she actually sent a couple to Strafay and
Strafay's mom.
Yep.
Well, Jason loves peppers, so that would be awesome for him.
Yeah.
So
you got a new rabbit too?
Well, not yet, but I was called by the local folks and asked me if I would be willing to take, because apparently I have a reputation now of saving baby rabbits.
Oh.
So they called me and they said, we have a young dwarf rabbit that was mistreated that we rescued out of a home. We hear that you have the facility and the willing to take care of it. And I was like, well, can it take care of itself? Because I work. I mean, I can't bottle feed anything. Yeah. She was like, no, it's an adult. She was like, it just needs a safe place to be in a cage. And I said, I have all that. I have the best food and everything else. Just bring it here.
She's got the best food, the greatest food. The rabbits all love it.
Yeah, it's great. Bigly. So it should be arriving sometime today, and I stopped and bought a couple things from the store just to make sure I had enough. But
Hellcat, she did call it a dwarf. Yes, it was a dwarf rabbit.
That's what they're called. They're black and white.
I know, I'm teasing.
They're small. They don't get very big. And it's a breed of rabbit called a dwarf.
I think it was a fantasy reference, sweetie.
Oh, okay.
Your literal mind took over there.
Yeah, sorry. Well, no, because I actually had somebody. I was talking to a guy at Tyson's about rabbit food, and because he had a dwarf bunny, and he didn't know what to feed it, and he was afraid it had to eat special food. I was like, it just eats rabbit food, dude. And I went and I took him, and I didn't even work at Tyson's, but I took him to where the stuff was, and I showed him what he needed to buy because he had bought gerbil food for some reason. I'm like, okay, rabbits and gerbils are not the same thing.
I mean, at this point, you could just look at the picture on the bag and figure it out, right?
And he's so then he picks up guinea pig food. I'm like, okay, we're not communicating here. Okay, see this? See the picture of the bunny? Oh, that's what you need to buy your rabbit. They're a bunny.
Was
anyway, so we were talking.
Was he a native English speaker? Because that's the only excuse.
No, he's just a very uneducated person about rabbits.
Okay.
Anyway, he and I were talking, and this lady comes up and just starts basically yelling at us for using the term dwarf. Listening to her, and he's just staring at her, and he's turning all red and getting really flustered, and I just stared at her, and finally she shut up because she realized I was looking at her like she was a retard. I shouldn't even use that word, I know. But anyway, I was looking at her like she was a complete idiot. She finally shut up. She was like, what? And I'm like, okay, first of all, it's a rabbit. It's an actual breed. Go look it up.
Yeah.
It is.
Second of all, there are some people who are little people who want to be called dwarves. Fuck you.
There's a comedian, Brad Williams. If you don't know who Brad Williams is, look up Brad Williams. He's a midget or a dwarf, and he does jokes about people calling. He is a little person. He's legitimately He's like 3-something feet tall.
I've seen him, and he calls himself an effing dwarf. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was saying midgets and stuff like that in his act, and he came up. Somebody came up afterward, another little person, and said, "You shouldn't use that word." What word? Midget. We're dwarves. It's like what sounds worse, that I'm a midget or that I'm a dwarf? I'm going to Tolkien, and we're gonna take the ring to the hobbits. And which one sounds worse to me? And he said he actually got picketed by a group of dwarves in front of one of his shows, and he said the manager said, "Yeah, they're picketing out there in front of you because you used the word midget in your act before, I guess." And he's like, "Yeah, well, who cares? Someone's gonna park their car right in front of them, and no one will see it."
Ouch.
He's
oh my God.
Brad Williams. If you
But anyway,
look up Brad Williams,
this person was
awesome.
railing, and it was like, how do you expect normal people to keep up with what is and is not okay? It's ridiculous. Look, let him call him whatever he wants. First of all, but it is an actual breed, and if you don't believe me, go look it up. They're called dwarf rabbits.
How dare you call that what, a white dwarf? How dare you use that astronomical term?
Well, it was a black dwarf, and we were calling them black dwarves. And black dwarf rabbits, and she was like, "Don't use that." Yeah, it was really funny. One of those moments where, as a liberal, I just want to reach out and slap someone.
Yeah, there's liberal, and then there's.
It's just like, you know what? There are 1,000 things to be pissed off about.
Right. Seriously.
This isn't one of them. Let it go.
Yeah. Yeah. Now if they're going around saying those fucking dwarves. First, make sure they're not like me with halflings, and they just think they're disgusting and horrible, and that they're not talking about fantasy creatures. By the way, halflings are horrible.
Yes, dear.
It should be purged from this earth.
So yes, I'm getting a rabbit, and I will have pictures on Facebook, but I will also, share how it is when it gets here. I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, that'll be fun. You'll have to share. Yeah, definitely share.
And I don't know what's wrong with it. She didn't really go into any detail. So it could just be injured and it just needs some TLC.
Yeah, or just was ignored, which happens
right,
a lot.
And it may be very thin. And I don't really know. So rabbits, don't get your kids rabbits for Easter, guys.
Yeah. Don't
Please
get your
stop
kids
doing that.
any animal as a gift unless it's something you all agree on.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. They need to stop doing that. So
an animal is not a gift. An animal is a family member. My family member's butt is in my face. Excuse me one moment.
Mm-hmm. And yes, Ericus, I also heard Jazz's microaggressions against you and all of Canada. That's why I outwardly just aggress against you and all of Canada. I don't micro it. I just openly hate your entire country and culture.
Blah, 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 blah. Anyway.
I love maple syrup, though.
Blah, 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 blah. I don't do that.
So,
let's see, the last point was a phone mishap. I left my phone on top of my car after a and I went driving on the road, and I'm halfway to my next client. I'm doing about 30 miles an hour, and I hear junk, and I was like, what was that?
At least you heard it.
Oh, no.
I was like, what was that? And I went, oh, that was my phone, because I looked, because my song stopped. See, that's the thing with my car.
Oh, it was Bluetooth.
It was Bluetooth to my car. So when it was on top of the car, it still worked. But when it off my car, everything stopped. I was like, what the heck? Wait a minute. I was like, shit, that's what that sound was. And I stopped on the bridge.
Sorry.
I looked behind me. There were no cars coming from behind me. So I just backed up, freaked out the lady coming at me. I think she thought backed up on the bridge, stopped, got out, picked up my phone, waved at her, got in my car. Now, I must say that this case that I bought, it cracked one corner, but it did not crack the phone.
Well, there you go. It did its job.
Awesome.
My car, it bounced off my car like a ball. And I watched, boing, boing, boing. Yeah, terrible. And it cleared quite a distance, and it only broke the one corner of the case, and it did not hurt the phone in the least. Although it did somehow loosen the cover for the case, the clear stuff, you put on the screen.
Yeah, the screen
protector.
Screen protector. Somehow it pulled loose, and I couldn't get it to stay back down, so I just yanked it off.
Yeah.
But I'll have to buy a new one. It's not a big deal.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I don't know why. It must have just like broke the seal somehow, and then it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So I was just like, "Oh, you're done. Throw it away." But other than that, I was really pleased because, I can't believe that it's in one piece.
Yeah.
I was doing 30 easy.
Yeah. All right, and we'll go out on Yunfei here. Apparently, there's a game called Among Us.
Oh,
yeah. I guess it must be. Is it an Asian game like this Genshin Impact that I was playing? I guess. It sounds very sus.
It does sound sus. But no, it's been really cool. Okay, let me back up a second. I think that COVID really took this game and ran with it because
it's been out. It was out for a while first, right?
It was out for like 2 years before.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah,
and it's super popular overseas and in South Africa, and overseas Europe.
I was gonna say it's the same place.
I'm like,
technically,
that's kind of all over. But yeah, it was real popular.
And also
over
in
there.
Dearborn, Michigan, which is really weird right up until recently.
And then COVID hit, and then all of a sudden, the United States picked it up.
It was a streamer, wasn't it? A famous streamer picked it up, and it blew up from there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now I'm seeing social groups who would have never crossed over starting to cross each other. Like they had one the other day. Actually, no, it would have been.
It's been a while now.
Last week, a couple weeks ago, I think, because we missed the show.
Yeah,
last week.
I was 2 weeks ago. I was feeling like poop.
Yeah. But AOC and Ilhan Omar were on there with like Pokimane, Jacksepticeye. Oh my god, I can't remember. Like a bunch of other well-known people.
Yeah, a bunch of streamers.
And AOC, by the way, is like, she's really smart. She's adorable, and she is freaking hilarious.
We'll agree to disagree on that one.
Okay. But yep, they played. And then I saw another lobby a few days later that had Jay Muse, who is the Jay of Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah.
Along with Felicia Day and some members of Ninja Sex Party and Game Grumps, because they actually kind of cross over.
Yeah, I saw the Felicia Day one with all her people from the guild, the little show they did. That would probably be a pretty good one to see. Those guys are hysterically funny.
Oh, I'll have to look that one up.
Well, you put it in here, but I actually saw.
No. No. The one that I saw, it was she joined like.
Oh.
I watch Z Royal Viking, Chilled, Chaos.
Okay, yeah. No, I actually saw one pop because I follow her on Twitch too, and I don't watch a lot of Twitch, or anything like that. I do stream it, but I don't really watch. But I did happen to catch while I was doing something. I was like, oh look, it's it's Felicia Day, and I looked at the screen and it was it had, as far as I could tell, it had damn near every one of the main cast characters on there. I mean, all of them. Yeah,
that was a lot of fun. But yeah, like it's been this thing that's just brought people together, especially people who you never thought would have.
Well, and by bringing them together, I mean.
Well, bringing them together to kill each other.
I did enjoy the girlfriend reviews version of that, where apparently Shelby is extremely good at lying to people.
Yeah,
it was one of the few games that she was better at than the boyfriend. Yeah.
Yes. No, I remember. I saw that.
That was pretty funny.
He was all butthurt about it.
Yeah. How could you do that to me?
But yeah, it's been a lot of fun because I think the thing that really makes it, it's a fun game to watch anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that really makes it is just the chemistry between everybody that's playing, and the fact that they're all playing to have fun, and they're all laughing, and it just brings.
And someone's going to be the asshole because the game is literally made to make somebody the asshole if you want to win.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But like there's been times when like the killer has been caught and they know they've been caught. And one of them, his name was Scodge, and everyone was like, all right, I suss Scotch, and he just yells out, I suss Scotch too, and voted for himself. So it's like, little moments
when
it really brings something nice to 2020.
I really like the ones that I've seen where somebody knows that somebody else saw them, and then when it comes to vote on who is the what do they call it when you're actually the
imposter.
The imposter. The one that knows that's the imposter and knows they got seen by one other person's like, I don't know, Red seems pretty. I saw him doing something, and yeah, I think it's that guy. And everyone's like, yeah, it probably is that guy.
Yep.
And then they space him.
Yep. If anybody doesn't know by now, Among Us is basically John Carpenter's The Thing in space.
And with cute little bean graphics.
Yeah, with cute little jelly beans.
Okay, just realized this. This is apparently the year of the jelly bean because we have that and we have Fall Guys, both of which are basically giant jelly bean people.
Yeah, that's true.
It is the year of the beans.
And real quick, if you get a chance, because you just reminded me when you mentioned girlfriend reviews, I follow them on Twitch as well, and they have actually played Phasmophobia.
Oh, I bet you that's probably going to be one of their videos soon, huh?
It's hilarious, and the boyfriend, Matt, I think his name is.
Matt, yeah.
He's so mean to Shelby, and it's so funny.
Just gets
they
her,
have,
yeah.
He gets her all the time. But like again, they're all having fun, and it's really nice to see people having fun and laughing in what is otherwise kind of a dumpster fire of a year.
Meanwhile, you can watch me play Call of Duty and shout at my screen because I suck. Actually, Erica says, I don't do too bad. I do okay. I still have fun with it. I don't take it too seriously like some people do. Unless I lose.
Well, some people get really sweaty about it.
I won't say I don't get sweaty. I do get sweaty, but I'm still having fun.
Yeah.
And I actually have my moments where I'm like, bam, 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 and like, okay, that was also, and then I get sniped by 3 people in 4 different directions, which is weird because the math doesn't add up yet. It still happens, and then it's over. I never get the cool like walk away from the exploding building thing. I get to do all the cool stuff inside, like in the Matrix lobby scene, but then I get shot by the agent on the roof. It doesn't end well. That's basically how everything I do goes in online games. So there's that.
Oh, I forgot to mark it down. But Rocket League is back too. If anybody's interested, there's still a crap ton of people playing Rocket League.
Is that because it came out on Switch recently, or not? Was that it? It came out on something that wasn't out on.
I don't know. I just know that my usual Twitchers
are all
Twitch
Rocket
streamers,
Leaguing again.
They're all Rocket Leaguing again.
Huh.
And I know that the Rocket League channel, Twitch channel, they do like professional friggin' games. Like, you want to talk sweaty gamers? Like, these are sweaty gamers. These guys are serious business.
Yeah. And no, I don't get distracted by the ass of the female soldier. I just get distracted by the fact that I'm always looking around and then I get shot.
And the ass of the female soldier.
It's a first-person game. I can't even see her butt. Oh, wait, no, except for when I'm riding the four-wheeler. But that happened like once because riding a four-wheeler in a giant open area that puts the little four-wheeler in red moving on everyone's map is a bad idea.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a good way to get shot in a four-wheeler. So, all right, well, I think that's all we have right now, yeah. Oh, quick update, Strafe, still not with us, but he has, in fact, built an entire Amish market at this point. He is, in fact, his beard is growing in nicely, not just the lower half. He doesn't have the mustache part, obviously, because Amish. But he actually joined the Amish sect that allows at least black, white, and one soft color. I think he has chosen baby blue.
You're so strange.
Thank you.
He is so strange.
I'm just the people are worried about Strafe. They're worried about him. And by the people, I mean like one kid in Idaho, probably. I don't
Hey, Jazz. You should try living with him.
No, I think I'm going to leave that to you, dear.
Bunch of potato-eating Idahoans.
Corn.
Idaho is known for its potatoes. Idaho potatoes.
Iowa.
Idaho. No.
I'm sorry,
no.
Jess. I'm sorry.
No, Idaho potatoes. It's the IdahoPotatoCommission.com is the first one that comes up. Grown in Idaho. Around here, all our bags come from Idaho.
I live in Iowa.
I don't care about where you live. It has nothing to do with you. I'm talking about Idaho.
Oh my God. You make me want to stab you.
I don't care where you go. Idaho.
Just want to be all by myself.
Grown in Idaho. It's right there. Idaho potatoes.
You're in
Not
Idaho.
Everything's about you, Jazz. You and your weird, stupid redneck state. Thanks for making Oklahoma. Thanks for making Oklahoma look civilized.
Right?
I appreciate that. All right, I'm gonna end this before we just keep insulting each other in our states.
Take this pig.
All right, I've turned it on the music. The music is now officially on. So, goddamn. Things and stuff and thank you and whatnot. I'm Ashton Phoenix. I want to thank Jazz, Sib, Yunfei for being here. You guys are awesome. Remember twitch.tv/crashedwhileloading. Join there. Click on the Discord link. You can talk to us during the week or weeks and stuff like that. And that's pretty much it. So get off my podcast. I'm tired of having you listen to it. I'm tired of you wasting your time. Night, everybody. Music, as always, is provided by Husky by the Geek. Visit him at youtube.com/HuskyByTheGeek to hear all his latest video game covers and original music.